So for me, it was fear. I was scared of not being liked. I was scared of disappointing people. I was scared of not being accepted. Because back then I thought that if everybody liked me, then I was good, that I was valuable. But I've come to realize that if everybody likes you, there's a huge problem. Today, guys, I want to talk a little bit about my journey from people-pleasing nice guy to a confident alpha male. And I want to share with you some of the surprising things that actually happened when I finally learned to say no. The biggest difference between a nice guy and somebody who's a people pleaser is manipulation, right? A nice guy syndrome is basically somebody who is manipulating other people through doing nice or kind actions in order to get something in return, right? Somebody who's a people pleaser, the only thing they're really seeking and manipulating is just trying to make people like them. And that I think was my biggest downfall. You know, 23 years old, I was working for this guy, that nutrition store that I started with that dude, and I was a disaster, right? I never, ever learned to stand up for myself. And so as a result, he would always take advantage of me. And I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to actually say that I let another dude like take advantage of me, not like in a sexual way, but just in a time, emotional, I never said no, right? Because I was worried that he'd get mad at me. God forbid, right? And then the other story that I've told you guys before is that I dated this woman for a long time, and I knew that she had cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend multiple times, but I kept allowing her back into my life because I was scared. I wasn't confident enough in myself and my own worth and value in order to be like, yo, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. I deserve better. And it was at 23 years old where I realized something had to change, but I wasn't able to change it myself. And so like I've talked about before, I went to therapy. It was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, right? Because I needed to deal with a lot of the unresolved issues that I had from when I was younger. I had abusive stepfathers, 2 abusive stepfathers that I grew up with. And that does such a number on a little kid. And as a result, you know, I just would shut down. I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't stand up for myself because I was so worried about fighting. I didn't want to have to move schools and friends again. And so I learned from a young age just to shut your mouth. It was easier for me just to eat it and not say anything as opposed to standing up for myself and the fear of having to move again. And so that persisted my entire life. I lost the ability to stand up for myself when it came to not only women, but also other men. And it was when I was 23 that I finally went to therapy. I've talked about therapy a gazillion times because of how powerful and impactful it was to me. All right, guys, if you want to check out therapy that I would recommend, BetterHelp, they're today's video sponsor. I'm going to link to them down below. I'm also going to tell you real quick about them. And then what I'd like to do is actually share with you some of the things that happened to me that I was surprised at when I finally stopped being the nice guy. So BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's professional therapy done securely online. BetterHelp is therapists that are trained to listen and help you. And the cool thing is that you can do it securely and confidentially online at your convenience. BetterHelp has over 20,000 licensed therapists worldwide. That's one of the other things and reasons why I love them so much. They're all over the place. So regardless of where you live, you can get a therapist that is able to help you given your specific needs. And the way that it works, guys, is pretty simple. There's a link down below this video, betterhelp.com/alpha-m. Go through that link. When you go through that special link, guys, you're gonna actually complete a questionnaire. It's gonna ask you a bunch of different questions to get to know you and what you're really in need of. And then BetterHelp is going to actually match you with a therapist that can help. You're gonna be able to start communicating within 48 hours. And then you can schedule video or phone sessions, but you also have unlimited like chat. So if there's ever anything going on, you can reach out and get a timely response. Guys, the other thing that I love so much about BetterHelp is that they allow you to actually change therapists without any extra fees, right? Because sometimes therapy is kind of like dating, right? The first therapist you get may be perfect, but it may not be. You might have to try a few different ones in order to find that perfect fit. Therapy is a gift that you give yourself. Therapy is for strong men that decide, you know what, I may need a little bit of help dealing with some of these issues that I have from the past or things that I'm currently dealing with. Because that's the thing, guys, their job, their only job is to help you get healthy and feel amazing. Guys, hit that link down below, betterhelp.com/alpha-m. That's betterhelp.com/alpha-m. Go through that link. You're going to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Gentlemen, do not wait because you deserve to be happy. The first surprising thing that I learned when I stopped being the nice guy is that saying no is like a drug. Now, the first time you say it, you feel like you're gonna pass out, right? At least I did. It was so hard. But then it feels so great because you were like, yo, I finally stood up for myself, that you wanna do it again. Literally, when you learn to say no, you're gonna wanna do it again and again and again. The second surprising thing that happened is that I found out who my real friends were. I lost friends, right? When I finally started standing up for myself and saying no and not bending over backwards and kissing people's asses, the people that were never truly my friend, they vanished. They scattered. They vanished like cockroaches because they weren't getting from me what I had been giving them. It's amazing what happens when you finally start to stand up for yourself and don't kiss people's ass. The third surprising thing is that I got rid of some people that I needed to get rid of. I found and identified people that were toxic, that weren't giving me what I needed. Even though they were still around, they weren't good for me. And I've often said that toxic people aren't necessarily bad people, but they're not good for you. Once you finally stop being the nice guy, the negative, toxic bitches, they're gone. Which brings me to the next surprising thing that I was actually able to do, which was kick her ass to the curb. The girl that I'd been dating, that I found out cheated on me, I dated her for like 5 years, I finally was strong enough and realized that I deserved better. And I was able to end it and break up. And I finally was able to move forward and find relationships and women that were valuable, that valued me, that deserved me and all that I had to give. Because I finally valued myself. And that was one of the most amazing things that happened. I finally realized how incredible of a person I was. I wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm a good person. I'm valuable. And somebody would be lucky to have me in their life. And guess what happened? It happened. People started coming into my life. I started attracting more valuable people, people that were beautiful people inside and out. People started to respect me like never before. And this was shocking to me because up until this point, I didn't respect myself. I didn't feel like I was valuable, and so other people didn't value me. I taught them that it was okay to treat me poorly. I taught them that it was okay to push me around, or that I would take them back even if they were bad people and treated me poorly. I had better relationships with my parents because I was finally able to forgive them for not being perfect. And that's one of the things I think that therapy really helped me with, Up until this point, I know that a lot of you probably blame your parents or people for doing bad things to us. I've come to realize that, good people do some bad things, and oftentimes we are collateral damage in other people's shit. Other people just trying to figure it out. They didn't do it specifically to hurt you, it just happened. But when you finally deal with it and are able to forgive them, the relationship can heal and you can move forward. You may not forget, but you can move forward and start to love them again. Another surprising thing I did, I stopped apologizing for things that weren't my fault. And that's one of the things. As a nice guy, as a people pleaser, we apologize for everything because we just want people to get along. We want people to like everybody, and so we say we're sorry. I stopped doing it. If it wasn't my fault, I didn't apologize. But if it was, I of course did. I was less stressed. That was one of the most amazing things about it. Because there's so much stress and anxiety that goes into trying to make everybody happy and pleasing everybody and saying yes and always doing what they need you to do, that when I stopped and I was like, yo, I'm being selfish, I'm taking care of me first. It was amazing. I wasn't all stressed out because I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried about disappointing people. I wasn't worried about saying no because I was fine just being me. And if you don't like it, fuck. And the last and most important thing that blew my mind when I finally stopped being the nice guy is that I found my confidence. It's amazing what happens when this actually sets in, right? I think for me, confidence has been the elusive thing that I've been chasing my whole life, right? I never had it growing up. I was 23, I knew I wanted it, but I didn't know how to do it. And so I did what I needed to do, and the first step was saying no, and then taking risks, taking chances, having failures. Failing is one of the best things that you will ever do in your life because it teaches you that you're gonna be okay. Yeah, it sucks, yeah, it's painful, yeah, it's embarrassing to tell somebody that it didn't work out, but you're okay. You survive, and then you're gonna move forward a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger, a little bit better, and your confidence grows. You've gotta fail, you've gotta put yourself out there. And this is one of the things that will truly change your life. Your confidence, knowing the value that you bring to the world, gentlemen, is like nothing else. You are amazing. You got to stop kissing people's ass. You got to stop bending over backwards and trying to please everybody. It's not okay for everybody to like you. If they do, there is a problem.